Savior Jesus Christ. I'm Pastor Mark. I'm here with Pastor Chris Battle from Battlefield Farms. We're here tonight to really introduce to you what we're going to do as far as a different phase of ministry, I guess. What we really want to do is introduce the start of our Lomax garden. We're going to have a garden out here, and we're going to partner with Battlefield Farms, and we're going to get that done. And I wanted to have this Bible study / information session so you guys can kind of figure out what's going on with us, and you'll know what's going on, and we can go from here. I'm gonna let Chris talk about what we do here, how we do it, and what Battlefield Farms is, and how he has gone through the communities and transformed barren plots of land into places where people can get fresh fruits and vegetables. So I'm hoping that we're live. I don't see ourselves on Facebook yet, but I think we're live. And what I'm going to do is kind of turn it over. I'm going to turn it over to Chris, and we're going to go from there. So, Chris, why don't you tell us a little bit about Battlefield Farms?
All right. Well, good evening, everybody. And do I need to call you Pastor tonight?
You can just call me Mark.
All right, fine. Mark.
Yeah.
We are grateful to be here, and thank you for this invitation. I'm Chris Battle, and I am the farm operator at Battlefield Farm and Gardens, and we are excited about doing ministry in literally in the field. I left my last pastorate about 3 years ago, and people have asked me, why would you do something like that? I said, well, I think I'm in Bible country. I said, when God created Adam and Eve, you know where he put them?
In the garden.
He put them in the garden.
He put them in the garden.
When Jesus was struggling with going to the cross, you know where he went to pray?
In the garden.
He went to pray in the garden. Okay. The Bible says when they crucified him and put him in the tomb, that it was right next to a garden. Yeah. And when Mary saw the risen Savior and didn't know who he was, she thought he was the gardener. I wish I had somebody tonight. That's it. And Revelation closes by saying that there's going to be a garden there that's going to bear it's going to have a tree that's going to bear 12 manna of fruit every month. I'm sorry.
Yep.
12 manna of fruit every month, and the leaves of the tree good for the healing of the land. Okay. So the healing of the land is going to come from the garden, and so I think I'm in. I'm in good biblical country. But what excited me about this? Back in 2018, we started a community garden, and Mark, I thought I was the community pastor. That's what I considered myself.
Okay.
We were doing things in the community, reaching out at least. I considered myself the community pastor. And I've always done a little gardening.
Okay.
One of my fondest memories of my grandfather was following behind him when I was about 4 or 5 years old, when he got that tiller.
Okay.
And I'm trying to keep up with his footprints in the tilled soil. And so I've always had a little garden here and a little plot here and there. Okay. And we had this plot where there used to be a house there. You know how it was over there. Yeah. Right? And
I remember.
I'm like, man, this would be a nice little community garden,
Exactly.
And it took about 3 years to make that thing happen, but we got it going. And I said, man, if we're gonna have a community garden, we need the community to be here.
Yeah.
So I go knock on doors.
Okay.
I go knock on doors. This is the community pastor now.
Yeah.
And I go knock on doors, and I knocked on a door like 2 doors down from the church. I've been there 10 years. 2 doors down from the church.
Okay.
They opened the door and said, hey, Pastor Battle, how you doing? I said, and you are?
Wow.
I felt that big, man. Because I thought I was the community pastor, but didn't even know my neighbors.
Didn't even know your neighbors.
Didn't know my neighbors. 10 years.
Wow.
And what shocked me, though, and ministered to me in a very powerful way was that first year that we had the garden there. We started like in May, so it was late start.
Okay.
And so we went from like May through September, maybe like that.
Okay.
I met more people in the garden than I did the 10 years in my office.
See, that's where we want to get to.
Yeah.
That's important.
And what I'm learning now is that people who come to my farm now, are people who wouldn't come to my church of brick and mortar.
But they'll come to the farm.
They'll come to the farm.
They'll come to the farm.
They'll come to the farm because there's something about the dirt. There's something about the soil that brings people together. It draws people.
It
man.
draws people.
It draws people. And I think the work that we're trying to do to fight food disparity takes it to a whole nother level.
It's ministry that very few people see in the inner city.
Absolutely.
You don't see this in the inner city. And churches getting involved in doing community gardens in the inner city. Black churches getting involved doing community gardens in the inner city is something you don't see.
And the beauty of it is, man, and like I said, I've encouraged some other pastors to do it, and a couple of them have.
Yep.
Was that you get to meet your people,
and
see, my whole thing is, man, my whole thing is this. Let me tell you a story.
We got a story. I got a story.
Let me. Am I allowed to cuss one time?
No.
Okay,
not,
all right.
Not on live.
I just want to make sure.
When we get a break.
When we get a break, okay. All right. Well, I'll give you the gist. All right. So we were cleaning Oddfellow Cemetery.
I know from Oddfellows. Yep.
When I first got here in 2008. They had given me a tour when I was a candidate,
right?
And it was they showed me Oddfellows, and I was like, "This is a mess," and unkept, and overgrown, headstones knocked over, and they asked me. I preached that morning, and I had the whole church interviewed me, and one of the questions was, what would be one of the first things you do if you become pastor?
Right.
I said, the first thing we're going to do is clean that cemetery.
Okay.
They called. Guess what the first thing we did?
Clean the cemetery.
Clean the cemetery. About 20 or 30 of us out there.
Yeah.
Cleans it. And we're mowing, we're chainsawing, we're putting headstones back up. We got bags and bags of debris in the corner of the cemetery. And this brother pulls up in the pickup truck. He stops me and starts thanking us for what we're doing. Wow. Man, he's going on. I mean, I appreciate y'all investing in the community. I'm excited. I'm the new pastor.
Right.
Okay, I'm new to town, right?
I got my first convert.
I ain't been here 3 months.
I got my first convert.
You understand, right? And he going on and on and on. And so I said, after he finishes, I said, well, brother, won't you come join us at the church?
Uh-huh.
And these are his words. And I quote, I ain't coming to your church. And pulled off.
Ain't that something?
And that plagued me. It still haunts me to this. I should have said, what's your name?
Exactly.
And I should have engaged him in what he's already voiced interest in.
Right.
Come get a lawnmower. Come get a rake.
Come help me.
Come help put these headstones back up.
I'm changing mine.
If nothing else, can we put these bags in the back of your truck and put them in the dumpster across the street?
That's what's up.
But what I wanted to do, because I grew up in that state. Well, you did too, because you old.
Thank you. I'm old. But
I grew up in that church growth thing, and you measured the success of your church by how many
members,
how many people got in the pew.
Exactly.
Exactly. And that's what I was thinking. But my mind has been altered.
Success can't be measured by the number of people in the pew. It really can't be. That's not that shouldn't be the total measure of success.
Because if that's how we measure success, then
most of our churches are
unsuccessful.
Exactly.
And concerts are doing a whole lot better than us.
Oh man, what you say?
So I think that
football games, baseball, everybody's doing better than us.
Absolutely, everybody doing better than us. And another thing that bugged me is that we don't. A lot of times now we see where we don't live in the communities where we minister.
Yeah.
I've
become commuter churches.
Yeah, we've
become community churches. Yes.
And you can't. I was at a conference once. Tell me if I'm talking too much.
No, you're good. You're good.
I was at a conference once in Nashville. It was on mass incarceration, and one of the questions that came up in the breakout session was, "How is gentrification affecting black congregations?"
Right.
I said, just kind of blurted out,
right.
It ain't affecting my congregation at all, because most of my folk don't live in the community.
Most of my folk don't either.
And then it hit me. I'm like, maybe that's why I can't get folks to invest in the community.
Because we don't live in the community. We don't live in the community.
We don't live in the community, you know. And so, because see, my goal was, we want everybody that, I wanted to get rid of our parking lot.
Okay.
Let's get rid of the parking lot, dig it up, put a garden out there.
Oh,
okay. Except
okay.
my spot. Now I had to keep my spot.
Gotta have the passive parking.
Had the passive parking.
Gotta have the passive parking. Everybody else can. Everybody else can go. Everybody else can go. Everybody else can go.
You know, but I did live in the community. But anyway, but I said, let's do that. I said, and we got enough folk in Knoxville, East Knoxville, in this community to fill this church and every other church.
We do.
You know,
and people are not coming.
People ain't coming.
And people ain't coming.
And that's not, you know, I was Baptist then, you know, but that's across denominational lines.
Yes.
It's across racial lines. It's across the country.
It is. It is. So being able to engage, but being able to engage people in a place like a garden opens up a whole lot of avenues for ministry that have never been opened before.
This is my mode of thinking now.
Okay.
And I think I'm in Bible country.
You are.
I like to stay in Bible country.
You're in Bible country.
I got an atheist that comes to the garden. I think I got a witch too.
Wow.
You know.
Wow.
And I'm not casting dispersions on anybody.
Right.
But I got folks that come to my garden.
You got unsafe folk coming.
I got unsafe folk.
You got unsafe folk
who are de-churched. Okay, frustrated with church.
Yeah.
They come to the garden. But my thing is this, you know, we meet, we talk. They love Chris Battle. They love what we're doing.
Yeah.
My goal is.
But they don't love the church.
They don't love church.
They don't love the church.
And some of them don't love Jesus.
And some of them don't love Jesus.
But my goal is to be with them, to be in relationship with them, to converse with them, to treat them as humans, made in the image of God, you know, the Imago Dei, and eventually they're going to ask the question.
That's the goal.
Why do you do what you do? And then I can be like Peter when he says you have to always be ready to make a defense.
That's the hook.
See, and I think that's the way evangelism should be.
That's
the way evangelism should be. It's about discipleship. Jesus says, as you go, make disciples.
Yeah.
It's really about not us going, but as we walk together.
Let us make disciples.
Let's make disciples.
Let's make disciples.
I can't disciple you if we ain't walking together.
If we don't have anything in common to talk about, then opportunities don't present themselves for me to talk to you about the gospel. Yeah. So, man, I mean, this is why we're doing what we're doing. This is why I say, I mean, I gotta call Chris, is because we're in Lonsdale. We've been here.
Is that where we are?
We are in Lonsdale, brother. We have been here 146 years.
Wow.
We were in Lonsdale during a time when people of color could only go to the church and live in the community where the church is located. Now, 90% or more of the people who attend the church don't live in Lonsdale.
Right.
So how can we connect the people back to the community and serve the community and get a real need? We live in a food desert.
Everybody got to eat.
Everybody got to eat. So tell me about the food deserts, man.
Right,
tell me about what's going on with the food deserts.
The USDA says that if 1/3 of your community is living at poverty level, it's a food desert determined by income and location. Okay. But if 1/3 of your community living at the poverty level, and 1/3 is more than a mile away from a fresh food market or grocery store, you're considered a food desert.
We're definitely that.
So I've done my homework.
Okay.
I've done my homework, and this is a food desert. Okay. This is a food desert. If
I have to agree with
I know definitely location wise. Yes. Okay. Location wise, this is a food desert. Your closest market. Do you know where your closest market is?
That would be Food City down the street.
Absolutely not.
Really?
It's not.
Which one is it?
It's actually the Dollar General.
Really?
Yeah, that's a mile away. It's literally a mile.
Is that considered a food?
It has fresh vegetables. I went there today.
Okay.
When I was on my way here.
Okay.
An hour and a half early. Okay.
I like the way you threw that in there. Okay. An hour and a half early.
Go get me some coffee.
Okay. Okay.
But we were there, and I went in. I looked at it, and they had some fresh vegetables.
Okay.
They had some cabbage. They had lettuce. They had some potatoes and onions and peppers, tomatoes. I mean, there was. It's.
I'm surprised.
Well, it's a market. It's DG Market.
See,
Yeah.
okay.
So that's the closest thing, you know. But then the next one I think is.
You got Food City down from there.
Yeah, I think everything else is
And then you got
definitely
Walmart.
miles, right, or up to 2 miles away from this spot.
Right.
This spot. Now, Food Desert's really about this. It's about lack of accessibility,
Okay.
availability, and affordability.
Okay.
Okay. So, if it's available,
But not
wonderful,
affordable.
but not affordable, it ain't gonna help me.
And DG Market might not be affordable.
And DG, and actually, you know,
May not. I mean-
I looked. They had wings over there too. Some Tyson wings.
Oh, we might have to.
Now you know wings are expensive anyway. Cause
Yeah, exactly.
y'all be killing them. Y'all preachers be killing that shit.
Let us look. Let us tarry.
Yeah.
We're gonna tarry at the altar with
And
the chicken.
and I saw a small pack for like a little over $10. I know wings are expensive anyway, but
Right.
if I go to Kroger, I can get a big pack for maybe
Yeah.
$19, $17.
Yeah.
You know? But I mean, but the foods, the groceries seemed a little expensive to me.
To feed a family, that would not be the ideal
wouldn't
place
be
to
the ideal
that,
place.
that wouldn't be the
Not the
ideal
ideal
place to
place
go.
to- right.
So affordability would be the key
Absolutely,
in that.
affordability. You know,
Okay.
but then again, thinking this, if I am a single mom and I don't have transportation, now how do I got to catch the cat? When I got to get on their schedule,
Or
Okay.
Uber or whatever.
or Uber,
Or
or whatever,
hitch a ride with somebody.
right,
Yep.
or walk.
Or walk.
You know,
Exactly.
and who's gonna do that?
Not too many people.
Not too many people. You know, or now the dollar stores have a strategy. You know, now you go to on my side of town, East now, there's a
Right.
dollar store almost in every corner.
I know.
You know, and
North side, same thing.
a friend of mine gave me a statistic. He hadn't proven it to me, but I believe it's true. He said 70% of our communities doing their grocery shopping at the Dollar General, at the dollar stores.
Wow.
You know, and I've seen
People shopping at the
shop
dollar.
at the dollar store You know,
Because it's convenient.
It's convenient,
and you don't get enough groceries to last you, but maybe for that
right.
meal.
And
or
they
just-
rip you off at the dollar store.
Oh
anyway.
yeah. Smaller portions. Huh?
Smaller.
Yeah,
so-
but
yeah.
but the food desert.
It's the food, but that's all a part of it. See,
Okay.
You know, it's a part of it because now if I don't have a healthy option, what am I going to do?
You will eat unhealthy.
I'm going to eat unhealthy.
Exactly.
And we're dying. You know, we suffer from obesity, we suffer from hypertension, we suffer from sugar diabetes because we're not eating right. I'm guilty. We guilty.
We guilty.
You know, and you know, but and you know, and our people are dying
Exactly.
because we're not and you give a child now a choice between some
Chips.
apple and some nachos.
If I can get a 99-cent bag of chips,
A
and
Raymond
I have to pay almost $2 for an apple, what do you think I'm going to get?
Right.
What do you think I'm going to get?
You know, particularly if I'm on a limited income.
Exactly.
You know, so it's about availability. It's about affordability and
Okay.
about accessibility. How do I get there?
How do I get there?
You know, and two, if I get there, is it quality food?
So with all of those factors in place, our communities are really struggling to provide fresh fruits and vegetables. Well, balanced meals, period.
Yeah.
To people who live in the community. So the church, people really have a hard, people give us a hard time about, so what is the church going to do? What is the church going to do? What is the church going to do? So we are in this community. We are, we've been here 146 years. We commute in, and I'm saying to myself, we have a golden opportunity to do ministry in this community for the people of this community and connect to them because we have houses and neighbors all around. And I'll be first to admit, no one in the immediate vicinity attends Lomax.
Yeah.
And that's an indictment against us, against me. I mean, the church has not done a very good job of being that community partner.
Yeah.
So how do we do it? We have to change how we fish.
I think we got to change how we fish.
And I think the garden is one of the ways we change how to fish. So, man, I said, I wanted you to come in and I wanted to see how we can make this
And
thing
what's
work.
more important, my man, is it more important that a person comes and joins my church, or is it more, or that we have a relationship with somebody and can be Jesus for them?
Exactly.
You see,
Exactly.
I think, you know, if people have such a horrible perception of what the church is.
They do.
'Cause church hurt.
Church hurt.
You know, you look on TikTok for 5 minutes and, you know,
Lord have mercy.
They glorify the worst stuff.
Yes, they do. They do. Ain't no hurt like church hurt.
Ain't no
People,
hurt like church
people
hurt.
say there's no hurt like church hurt. So how can we change the perception of the church being part of the community by providing something in the community that's beneficial to the community?
I think this is a powerful means.
I love it.
I think this is a powerful means of having a community garden.
So tell me how it starts, man. Tell me the mechanics, because you know we all bought in. I keep telling you, we are here. So tell me with all this land we got, and they can't see, but Lomax has more land than any other church in Lonsdale. We have more land. Our land stretches from this corner all the way down around the church. Yeah. We have well over a couple of acres, I believe, out here. And we want to say, how can we put, and I said, the resource we have the most of is land.
So
tell me how it works.
Here's what we need to do. If it's going to be a community garden,
right,
we need to get people to sign up to do that. And we have, I have forms that we can give you, a template that you can have people fill out and do that. Because what we have found is that you have to get your gardeners first, really.
People who have a heart and desire for gardeners, for gardening.
Yeah, really. You know, or just want to learn, or groups of people, or like that. You know,
do you offer classes?
We do. We will make a class for you. Okay. Just to do that. I have no problem with that. That's part of our mission to do that. To help you learn if you don't know how to garden, you know. I don't consider, now I passed the Master Gardener's class. Okay,
all right.
I hope you understood what I just said. I passed the class.
I get what you're saying. Okay.
I also passed my Hebrew class.
But but ask me to talk. Ask me to.
But I know how to go to. I know where to go to.
You know where to go get it.
But because I like watching things grow. That's what got me started. I like watching stuff grow. But we need to identify the
what
gardens.
What a profound metaphor. I like watching things grow.
I like watching things grow. And
people grow.
Listen, and what they have learned, and I'm going to come back to what you asked me. What we have learned, Clemson did a study, and they said when there is a 1% increase in food disparity, 1% increase in food disparity, there's a corresponding 12% increase in violence.
Wow.
Because, and there's a whole lot of reasons that go behind that. It's very involved. But what we're learning now is that processed food is messing with our kids' brains.
Well, Granny could have told us that a long time ago.
Right. Thank you.
You don't need to eat all that junk food.
Right.
That's why they call it junk food.
And what we're learning, too, and studies are out there, is that when you care for something and give it life, like a tomato, whatever, when you care a plant, any kind of plant, you care for it. You see it grow. But you become, there's something about providing and making life that gives you. Vested.
You become vested in that tomato.
Yeah. But it also affects how you see people.
Yeah. I tell you, let me just tell one. I tried a garden once before, and I had grown one little tomato plant, and I nurtured that tomato. It was big and red and round, and brother, the squirrels came in, and they just mangled my tomato. And since then, me and the squirrels have been enemies. We have been
ask God for forgiveness.
They have been like the Edomites. When I see them, I just want to destroy them.
I'm like that with groundhog. I had put out 72 slips. Of sweet potatoes.
Ooh.
The next morning I came back.
How many?
0. Ooh. They ate them.
72.
All 72. And so I went to war with the groundhogs. I'm not going to tell y'all.
You killed my sweet potatoes.
I did not. Yeah. You killed my sweet potato. I ain't going to tell y'all what happened. But the groundhogs didn't bother me too much more.
They didn't bother you too much. You let them know.
I let them know who's in charge.
Look, don't come across my sweet potato.
Come up, But so no, we need to get the people to guard.
Right.
and then to do the work. We could,
I think
we'll
that's
till it up and plant the seeds and water and weed
and we're
watch
looking
it
at
grow.
raised beds versus just digging up the dirt and all that kind of stuff. But because we have so much land out here, man, once we get into the nuts and bolts of the garden, I think it'll be fine. But I really want people to understand how important it is to engage with the community, how important it is to get involved. And see, that's the thing. Yeah. You may not be on fire for church. You may not be on fire for church, but as a believer, you ought to be on fire for ministry.
Absolutely.
And this is one of the things that you can do, that we can do, that will really engage the community. I mean, I'm sure I'm going to see people from the community and meet people from the community I've never met before.
Absolutely.
Once we start tilling the ground, once we start putting out signs and telling people we got a garden, people will come out that we've never met before, and we can start engaging in relationship, which is really the hook. That's really what I'm after.
Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately that should be what we're at. But I think, just being after community and a good neighbor.
Exactly.
Because like I said, I met more folk who just come back. But what we also did at the church is we had a fence. There was a fence along the that we use as a trellis.
Okay.
And we called it the gleaning fence.
Okay.
In Leviticus 19, it talks about leaving the corners of your fields unharvested. Mm-hmm. That's how Ruth met Boaz.
Yep.
And you left it unharvested for the poor.
Exactly.
So what we did, everything that we grew on the trellis, on the fence, we put that in the baskets. Okay. We say, hey, that's free. It's free to the community.
Right.
We had, I think, 16 plots. What happened, I didn't ask for it. I didn't ask anybody to do it. I didn't even suggest it. But, if you grow some squash, you're going to grow more than you need.
You will.
And what was beautiful to me is people start taking their extra and putting it on the fence.
See?
Every day, the food that was on the fence was gone.
Chris, that's amazing.
And it was like,
amazing.
Yes. at first, first I thought it was kids maybe taking, but then I realized it was actually people driving up, looking in the basket, and some people come by, you got any okra? Yes, let me get you some okra.
Yeah, because I remember all your Facebook posts, I got a pallet of sweet potatoes, y'all need to come get them.
Yeah.
I mean, and people are not wasting it.
Yeah, and here's the beauty of it, man. So a friend of mine, McCarroll, McCarroll in Murfreesboro?
No.
Carol was doing revival here at New Hope, and I went to see him, and he had saw the garden on Facebook, right? Battle, I want to see your garden. I said, man, it got a little daylight, let's go. I took him over there, and he was like, man, I want to do this. I want to do this in Murfreesboro. I want to do this in Murfreesboro. And he did.
Okay.
And he's already written a book about it.
Wow. He didn't waste no time.
He one of them brothers I don't really like, Anyway,
take my idea.
Yeah. But no, he's a wonderful brother, just brilliant guy. And but we went to Applebee's afterwards to eat, and he got in the thinking mode. You know how y'all preach.
Yeah.
He got in the thinking mode.
Deep in thought.
I said, uh-oh. And he said, Battle, how much did the garden cost you?
Right.
I said, it really didn't cost me a lot. I said, I needed some tillers. I needed a tiller, and I just put it out there, and I got 2 the next day.
Okay.
People heard I was doing this garden. People started giving me plants, seeds, tomato stakes,
it's amazing.
Picnic tables, garden tools. They started giving me everything we needed for the. People just started giving. He said, how many people have ever given you a pew? I said, nobody has ever given me a pew. He said, but when you start investing in the community start investing in you. I'm like, I was shouting right then. But that's been the story of Battlefield Farm. Folks have been just investing. Like, I haven't wanted for the farm for anything.
When you do ministry, I heard a preacher say, if it's God's will, it's God's bill. God's choice, God's invoice.
Yeah.
When you start working in ministry, man, God provides, man, because you're doing what the commission says. When you're doing ministry, I believe God provides resources.
Absolutely.
I really believe that.
Doc, let me tell you what happened. Can I tell you what happened?
Oh, please do.
So I have a partnership with this church out west, Cumberland United Methodist Church.
Okay.
And they supply food pantries. So one of the brothers called me. I don't even know how he got. I think they may have volunteered at the farm or something like that. And he said, Chris, we got sweet potatoes that come periodically.
Okay.
Would you like some? Sure.
Sure, I'd like some.
Okay. So some came up. He said, how much do you want? He said, well, they come in like 1,200-pound boxes.
Wow. Wow.
So I said, yeah, give me, I'll take a ton, whatever. And so I would take it to the church, the school, to the farm.
Right.
And put it on Facebook Live.
Exactly.
I got sweet potatoes. In a couple of hours, they gone.
Yeah.
Folk driving down the Boys Bridge Pike. 3624, boy.
3624 Boys Bridge Pike.
We call it the brick house.
The brick house. I got you.
You get it? 3624.
See.
Okay. All right. Anyway.
Yeah.
Old school.
Old school.
But one day, Doc, I was sitting there. We had all these sweet potatoes out there.
I'm gonna zoom down there.
Okay.
Get it? I'm gonna zoom down there.
I got you.
And I'm gonna be easy like Sunday
morning. So I'm giving out the sweet potato. And I'm like, the demographic that I'm really trying to reach doesn't have the proper transportation to get here.
Exactly.
I need to get this to them.
Okay.
So I said, you know what? Maybe I need to get me a minibus or something.
Okay.
And turn it into a vegetable truck.
Ooh.
And so I said, that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
And I just felt compelled to do it.
Okay.
And as you said, when it's your God's choice,
it's his voice.
What's the other one?
Yeah, when it's God's will, it's his bill.
His bill. So I'm get on Facebook Marketplace. I'm looking for, and they're running between $7,000-$10,000.
Right.
But then I still got to convert them.
You still got to do. You still got to do something.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, now brand new ones were like $70,000.
Oh yeah. Easy. Easy.
So I called I texted a friend of mine at Steve Diggs.
Okay. Yeah.
I texted him. I said,
we need
brother. I said, brother, I'm a man of vision and dreams like you. And I told him what I was dreaming about with this. I said, but my pockets are this deep as yours. And I said, if you got a bus coming offline,
right,
let me know.
Right.
And
yeah.
About a week later, he texts me back. We got one coming offline. Go down there, check it out. Like it.
Okay.
I go down there, and perfect. I'm like, well, how much? $1,500.
Oh,
let me write you this check.
Please, real quick.
So we're in the process now of converting that to a vegetable truck.
That's.
And hold up, but people have already donated. One of my classmates from high school who I hadn't seen since our last reunion, right? And they're not the same tone as me.
Right.
Said, Chris, can we start a GoFundMe for you?
Well, sure.
Yeah, but I'm like, but that's what I'm saying, Doc. He flips the bill when it's his will.
If it's his will, it's his bill.
There you go.
If it's his will, it's his bill.
And so we plan on having that out in the next month or two.
So what you're showing me and telling others is that when ministry is done, provision is provided. And what I want to tell people,
all the rhymes in
man, like a good Methodist pastor. I got it, don't I? What we trying to do, man, it's just simple. And I want the people to see, because I want the people to be involved. Yeah. It doesn't matter if you're a member of the church, doesn't matter if you're a member of this community. If you have a passion for gardening and you want to do ministry, that's the only requirement.
This is the grand opportunity.
This is a grand opportunity.
And you get to feed people.
Yeah. So we're looking at starting soon. So we're looking at breaking ground here. I know you're breaking at Payne Avenue.
Payne Avenue is
If you guys are anywhere close in that area, if you want to go see what Payne, it's in East Knoxville over there off of MLK, over there by Austin East. So if you guys want to go check out what Payne Avenue's garden looks like, ours is going to be, I'm going to go out there, steal some ideas. Tell Reverend Brown I'm coming out there, steal some ideas, and then we're going to bring them over here. But we're going to make this garden a part of our community. I mean, there are a few gardens around, but Lonsdale is so vast. I mean, it's a big place, and we're right across the street from right over here, right next to Emerald Youth Foundation, to the complex. I mean, we're within walking distance for so many people, and if we can put a garden where people can see it, and they can come and say, you know what, I need a couple of sweet potatoes, I need some onions, I need some tomatoes, I need some squash. I can come over here and get that and walk home.
Here.
Yeah, you got a question?
No. Oh,
no, I'm just saying.
So this is my goal now. I saw this on a website for black farmers, and it says this, and it makes so much sense.
Okay.
If we each grow a large crop of different food, we could all trade with each other and eat for practically free.
We probably could.
So you grow tomatoes and I grow onions, and
I'm gonna grow some chicken.
And she and she grow collard greens, and she grow turnips, and he grows onions, and Joe grow potatoes, and we trade.
Everybody can eat for free.
Everybody can eat for free.
But that's where it used to be in the community.
Absolutely.
My dad used to tell me stories, and my grandmother used to tell me stories of, like, when people didn't have, they would actually trade with people in the community. When they would kill a hog in the fall, everybody that participated got to take meat home.
Yeah.
So they didn't charge you. If you participated, you got to eat.
And that's what, and that would be the beauty of,
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah, and just imagine if everybody, somebody grew carrots, somebody else grew peas, and I'll give you a few collards for your peas.
Soup.
That's the beauty of it. And so what we really want to do is folk to get rid of their lawns and just start growing gardens.
There you go.
Then we could change. Well, this is not. It's not Lonsdale. It'd be Garden.
It'd be Gardendale. That's a bad pun.
It's really
but it sounds good. But it sounds good. So I mean, this is really, I can see this place being filled with people, trading, having fresh fruits, vegetables, honey. I mean, you name it. Having people out here in this community.
Did you say beans, greens,
tomatoes?
You name it.
I don't know why they let us on. I don't know why they let us on Bible study.
This is your show.
I know. I told them, y'all gonna have to watch us when we get on, because I said me and Chris don't know how to act sometimes. But man, the ministry is here, and that's what's important. So looking within the next month or so, we want to start looking at breaking ground. We want to start looking at providing a place to break ground. We letting you know, Facebook, we're going to keep you, Lomax, we're going to keep you involved. We're going to be filming when we start breaking ground. We're going to have Bible study out here. We're going to have people out here. We break ground so we can start gardening. Yeah. And then hopefully it'll become organic. And again, I don't want to film everything we do, but I want people who may not be able to be here to be able to see what ministry looks like, and maybe inspire them to say, you know what, man, we can do this in our community too. That's what it's all about, man.
When we first started the garden, I learned about food disparity and the food desert. I'm like, my little garden's not going to be enough.
Right.
So that's why I reached out to some pastor friends. And, hey, y'all got empty plots. Why don't you do it? And I talked about it. Like I said, a couple of them said yes.
Yeah.
A couple of them took a few years to say yes, but they said yes.
Right.
I said, this still ain't enough.
Yeah. And so the pandemic held some people up too.
Yeah. And then pandemic taught us how much more because food prices are going out.
I know. So this is really needed.
Absolutely.
This is really needed.
So I reached out to Nourish Knoxville and said, hey, there's no farmer's market in 37915 zip code. And see, your zip code shouldn't determine the availability of fresh vegetables.
Say it.
And so she reached out. She goes, well, there's some other groups that have been talking about this in the black community. I'm like, well, who? She said, Stan Johnson from, I know Stan.
From C?
Yeah. And she goes, Tanisha Baker from Five. I said, Tanisha's a member of my church. You know. She said, Vivian Williams from Women in Agro. I know Miss Vivian, Reverend Williams. I know her.
See?
You know. And so we got together and started the farmers market.
Okay.
It's called the East Side Sunday Market. You know, and we meet at Hardy Park.
Okay.
From every Sunday from June through September from 1 to 4. So you can come out to church, go get you some fresh greens.
So you know, yeah. you're gonna have one on the east side, and then you're gonna have one on the west side.
And that would be wonderful.
And that's the goal.
That's the
goal, to be able to say, in our communities where there are food deserts, that we want to be an oasis.
Yeah, absolutely.
We don't want to have. I don't want to have food desert attached to Lonsdale.
Yeah.
I want it to be an oasis where people can come get vegetables, and it'll be free.
Food shouldn't
cost.
Food. I mean, you in the garden, they ate for free. They had to toil a little, because
I think that's the benefit.
Yeah.
I mean, and we have people who are now the baby boomer generation. They're retiring at a rapid pace. They're still the largest generation.
I'm a baby boomer.
No, barely. Okay, we won't go.
Hey.
So you ain't going nowhere, no time soon. So what we want to do though is be able to provide. I mean, we have CAC around the corner. There are seniors who are struggling to get food. We see this as an opportunity to take care of our seniors too, our elders. I mean, we see this as an opportunity to be able to say, you think about what ministry could really be.
Well, yeah, and see what grows out of this is now we'll teach people how to do this.
Exactly.
And we might need to have some people who can teach people how to cook.
Exactly.
Because this ain't microwavable stuff.
No. In this day and age when everything is so instant, it's hard to get people to go back to start cooking. But I think the prices
but there's going to have to be a
back.
Culture shift.
I think so
overall there's going to have to be a culture shift. But I think it's going to help. It's going to help the community ultimately.
And if people rediscover the beauty of cooking,
absolutely,
man. I mean, cooking fresh vegetables is nothing like.
Yeah.
Me and my wife have started eating fresh vegetables. Man, it's just a difference in night and day. It's like, I never thought
I got this thing
that I would eat squash, and I never thought I would really love fresh vegetables.
I got this thing we do that at the house now. I get some cucumber. I throw some squash and zucchini, and some bell peppers and a little olive oil. Mix all that up, and then every now and then I throw some turkey sausage in there, and when I got a little extra, I might even throw some shrimp in there, right?
Oh, see, now
and
you talk
my
about
kids will be killing it.
Oh yeah,
that's what got me. The kids
and they don't know they're eating fresh fruits and fresh vegetables. They don't know that.
Well,
they just eat good
mine
food.
do.
Well, I know yours do, but
mine
won't. Yeah. But we're gonna teach them. We're gonna teach them.
But I think there's a I think we're gonna have to retrain our taste buds.
We will. We will, because it has always been. We have always been eating, and I'm gonna speak for the majority of people I know. We eat for convenience.
Absolutely.
We're busy. We don't slow down. We're coming in to work. You got two parents working. You come in. How can you prepare meals? How can you get your kids fed? If you have kids, how can you get yourself fed? Get everybody cleaned up, get ready for bed, go to work, go to school the next day. So eating out has become one of convenience.
Absolutely. And see, another issue too is that while a lot of our communities are in food deserts, they're also in what they call food swamps.
Really?
Yeah. A food swamp is when there are 4 unhealthy choices for every healthy choice. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to let. We are in a food swamp.
Yeah. So you go down.
We are in a food
Magnolia.
You go down Texas and Western.
You got, McDee's, Arby's, Pizza House.
Why are they always in the poor communities and colors and communities of color?
Yeah.
And I'm not just going to say black, because you got black, brown, red, and white. Poverty is the great denominator.
Absolutely.
So why are they in communities where the poverty line or the poverty? In poverty communities.
I'm convinced poverty don't mean you don't have any money.
Okay.
It don't necessarily mean you ain't got no money.
Okay.
You just
But
ain't got a whole lot of money.
you ain't got a whole lot of money.
Yeah.
You,
what I'm saying?
you don't have a lot of discretionary
and
income.
if I can feed my kids and then they're happy, if I give them a happy meal and they're happy,
If I can get a $5 Little Caesar pizza,
there you go.
and how many people can I feed with that?
Yeah. Right.
For $6,
For $6.
I can get a Little Caesar's pizza,
And there's no
and I don't have to
no
cook.
right. So I had a diverticulitis,
Okay.
and I asked my doctor because diverticulitis will whip you. You hear me?
I believe it.
It will whip you, and it whipped me.
Okay.
And so they had to. Well, anyway, I asked my doctor. I said, "What causes diverticulitis?" He said, "A lifetime of not enough fiber."
Really?
Yeah.
Man.
You know, and so I'm like, wow. You know, I'm like,
And it doesn't catch up with you until you get up in age.
yeah.
And now these kids now are prime candidates for something like this when they get in their
Absolutely.
40s and 50s and 60s.
Yeah.
So not only are we trying to, this is preventative.
Right. Absolutely.
This is preventative.
Yeah.
So we got all these benefits out here, y'all, and I hope you guys are hearing us. We really want you to be a part of what we're doing in Lonsdale. I want you to reach out to Chris. We're going to put his information out there. If you are in a community or in a church where you really want to start a garden, reach out to Chris at Battlefield Farms. He'll be glad to walk you through the steps of getting a community garden, because it really is a means to ministry. And I think that's the thing that struck me when I saw what you were doing, and I saw how many people were coming and how many people were talking about it. I said, man, I got to do this. I said, I just see it as clear as day that we can feed people in our community nutritious, free food, and connect to them and possibly do ministry. I mean, man, Jesus did feed them, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
He before he did miracles, he did. I'm in good Bible country.
You are in Bible country.
I think he fed them.
He fed them.
He did feed the people.
He did feed them.
He didn't send them away hungry.
Matter of fact, when he resurrected, he kind of told Peter to feed my sheep.
Sheep?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
So see, at first I used to think that just meant preach to him.
No, literally.
Literally feed them.
Look, take care of mama.
Take care of them.
Take care of them. Take care of them.
Because if just imagine how many hospital visits we wouldn't have to have.
Man, what you say? If we would just change how we eat.
Change how we eat.
And
Our diet is killing us.
Our diet is killing us.
Our diet is killing us.
And nobody told us what we couldn't eat when we didn't
wasn't
listen.
hearing.
We weren't listening.
Yeah, we wasn't listening.
And because we don't go to doctors often, and because in our communities, it was always, it was like eating was not something, eating healthy was not something we discussed.
Right.
It just wasn't, you ate what's available, you ate what was affordable a lot of times, and that was not healthy.
And then too, we come from a community where we worked. And so we with no sitting jobs.
With no sitting jobs.
We were laborers.
So I could eat ham and fried chicken.
I'm gonna work it off.
I'm gonna work it all off. But now most of us have sedentary jobs.
Mm-hmm.
We're not out there working hard.
Yeah.
And you can't eat like that anymore.
Right.
And then expect not to have consequences from that.
Absolutely.
So this man, I really wanted to have this tonight. We've been trying to work on this for a couple of weeks. Trying to come together, trying to do this. Chris, I really appreciate you, man. I really do.
Appreciate what's going on here.
I want you guys to leave some questions in the chat, or leave some questions on Zoom, and what we'll do is we'll get back to you. We'll answer them. I promise we'll put Chris's information, Battlefield Forums, on our Facebook page after this, so you can reach out to him if you have questions or comments. You want to be a part of this. I'm sure he'll respond. We'll put his email and whatever cell phone number he wants to put out there, and we'll if you guys don't have questions, what we'll do is we'll kind of cut this off for now. But Chris, I'll leave you with a few comments if you want to. We can't tell jokes though, because we might get in trouble, because your wife will probably see the video, and I know mine will see it. So yeah.
I just think, Pastor, I think thank you for inviting me. Thank you for your vision for feeding the community and living out this passionate thing of being what I think, being Jesus for the community and just feeding the sheep. And thank you all for having your time. And if you ever need to come down to Battlefield Farm, we are at 3624 Boyd's Bridge Pike. Yeah, 3624 Boyd's Bridge Pike. And if you want to email me, my email is battlefieldfarm1 1, Battlefield Farm, the number 1 at gmail.com. Battlefield Farm 1 at gmail.com.
Now, you open during the day right now?
Well, right now we're we're waiting for the last frost to come.
So when do you think it'll be a good
the
time?
last frost is supposed to be the 5th. Now we're there. I'm there usually every morning.
Okay.
But Saturday mornings are the best time if you really want to catch it.
Okay.
If you want to bring a group down, or if you just want to come and volunteer, email me at battlefieldfarm1 at gmail.com.
So
and I would definitely,
you're definitely taking volunteers.
yeah, we definitely take volunteers.
Now, when are you breaking ground at Payne Avenue?
Probably next week.
Okay.
Probably next week. They have some bad soil there. Where we're going to go, it's very rocky, so we're going to have to do raised beds.
Okay.
But again, we're kind of waiting for people to say, I want to do this too. You know, yeah.
Okay, so we're still in the recruiting phase.
Yeah.
Okay. So you heard it first. If you guys are interested, put your name in the chat. We'll write your name down, put your contact information. We are actively recruiting now. I'm putting that out there. Actively recruiting now. So if you want to be a part of this, if you want to be part of Lonsdale, Lomax Garden, put your name in the chat. We're going to go ahead and start recruiting people now, because we want to break ground sometime in early middle part of May. Maybe, I don't know if you got room to do.
You tell me, I could be out here tomorrow with my
Oh, man.
You know?
But who's going to till it? Who's going to keep it?
Till it.
Well, I mean, after you till it, who's going to keep it?
That's up to you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, but, you know, there's something about the harvest is plenty, but
the laborers.
a few. So pray to the Lord of who?
The harvest.
That he sent forth laborers into the vineyard. Oh, so I'm going to leave y'all with that. Just want you to know, thank you for tuning in. Again, if you want to be a part of this, if you want to be part of Battlefield Farms, we'll leave the information out there. But I pray that you see it as a means of ministry. Whatever you're doing in the community, see it as the means of ministry where we can connect people, not just to the church, but to Jesus Christ. Amen. And that's what it's all about. So if I'll say a short prayer and then we'll leave you with it, okay? Father, again, thank you for this day. Thank you for Pastor Battle. Thank you for Battlefield Farms. Thank you for what he's doing in the community. I pray now that you continue to bless his ministry, his business, bless the means, give him provision. Lord, bless this endeavor here in Lonsdale. I pray that we begin to start out building a garden where we'll be able to feed the people of this community and point them to you. That this will be a means of ministry for so many people. And Father, we thank you again for this opportunity, and we bless your name. In the name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen. Amen. God bless you, y'all. God bless you. God keep you, and have a great rest of the night. Amen.